Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial. I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup. I'm going to go step by step and hopefully you guys learn something or take something away from this video. I did this look last night. I was just kind of like practicing some looks and I really liked how my eyes came out. I posted like a picture on my stories and I had so many questions as to what was on my eyes, so that is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Also, for the most part, I think all the complexion products I'm going to be using are things that I have tested and loved for a while and I'm really happy with them. It's kind of like going to be an updated foundation routine in the mix as well, so I think we should just get started. First things first, I'm just going to kind of clip my hair back so it's not in my face when I'm doing my makeup. I don't really use a face primer all the time. It really depends on like my skin and my mood. Like today my skin feels just fine. I don't feel like I need anything on it, so I'm just going to jump straight into foundation. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. I have the shades 30NN and 20NN. I mix them together because this is too dark and this is too light, but at the same time it's still not like the right tone for my skin. I can't seem to find the right tone for my skin, but it does its thing. So I'm going to mix these together real quick. This foundation has been working out really well for me. It's probably one of the only foundations at the moment that really doesn't crease on my face and it looks absolutely stunning. I'm just gonna go into a little sponge and apply it like that. I feel like it just gives me like a better application just because it's a little lighter. It's not too heavy with the brush. You don't really need to go heavy with this foundation. It has pretty good coverage. Plus anything I can't cover with my foundation, I go in with some concealer just so the rest of my makeup is not heavy and cakey. I'll just go and spot conceal. But as long as I can just even out my skin tone, I feel like that just gives you the most natural look and your makeup just ends up looking really pretty throughout the day. The type of look I'm going to be doing today is definitely a little bit more of a glam look. It's not like an everyday going to the market running errands type of look. I mean, you can if you totally wanted to, but it's just going to be a little bit more glam. So I want to make sure my skin looks very flawless when I'm going out. I take that extra step to like perfect everything, go a little bit slow and just make sure everything's on there great. Foundation is on very lightly. There's definitely a lot of areas that I feel like I need to cover still. I'm going to go into my concealer later. But before I conceal, I like to go in with my cream bronzer. This is the Milk Makeup bronzing stick in the shade Baked. And I like to bronze my face and then go in with my concealer. I feel like I've talked about this product a lot, but if you've never heard of it or seen it on my channel, it is so easy to use. It's like, I don't cream contour. I'm not good at it. I don't do it very often, but this makes me want to do it. And it's so easy. I just slap it on and it blends out amazingly. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So for my nose, I like to go in with a small little round dense brush. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm still going to go in with my concealer and kind of fix everything. So that's why I like to do the bronzer first, because then I can go into my concealer and clean everything else up. But if I do my concealer and then this, it's like I have to go back in with more product to fix my contour if it comes out weird. Normally I will take a bigger brush for my face, but honestly this is working. It's definitely that time of the month where I need to wash all of my brushes because I have none. I'm gonna go into my sponge. It just blends out so nicely and very easily. I know it looks really intimidating when you first put it on, but this product is just, it's truly great. Like, I love this stuff. I love when I start doing something and forget to mention what it is. I am using the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer in the shade 10 Light. It's kind of, it's a bright concealer, but it's not super bright. It looks a little bit more natural. I basically like to apply it underneath my eyes. I go down the bridge of my nose, my chin, and then I will take a little bit of this and do some spot concealing. I've kind of avoided putting any concealer like right in here. It's kind of unnecessary and it just adds more product where I crease the most. So when I avoid it, I don't crease there. I'm gonna go into my sponge and gently press the concealer into my skin. I'm done with my cream products. It's time to set. I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder and I'm going to use my sponge for this. It's my favorite way to apply powder because it just melts it into the skin. I really like to make sure my face is set, especially like the areas where, you know, I put contour and my blush and stuff, because the last thing you need is to put your bronzer on and it just kind of sticks to a wet spot on your face. And I've had that happen so many times because I did not properly set my face and a disaster happened and it was not fun. I don't really let my powder sit for too long. As soon as I'm done kind of pressing it into my skin, I just take a fluffy brush and I just dust all that excess powder away. This step is totally not necessary, but I love doing this just to give my skin a more like flawless look, especially for very glam looks, or if I need a little extra coverage on my cheeks or what the situation is. I like to take the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Powder. This is a full coverage powder foundation. You basically can use it with, this sponge is amazing. I wish they sold more of these separate because it's fantastic. I either take the sponge and gently press over like areas that I want more full coverage. I stay away from areas that I will crease the most. Or if you want to go a little bit lighter and just gently dust this on the face, take your fluffy brush, tap it out, and just gently go over everywhere. For my contour bronzer situation, I'm going to be using the Shade and Light palette. I just bought a new one and I haven't used this in so many years. This was my ride or die. My old one is like old. This is all I would use back in the day and I remember loving it so much. So I was like, you know what? I need a new one. I remember really liking it. So I like to mix these two shades together and I'm going to use this brush to apply it. It's definitely not a bronzing brush, but nothing else is clean, so. And then I'm just going to pop it on my cheeks. It's like a really nice neutral tone. It's not too warm, but it's not too ashy on my skin. Like it's just a really good contoury shade. This brush is actually doing such a good job. Get a little bit under the chin. Can't forget the nose. If for any reason I feel like I still need a little bit of highlight or brightening on my face, I will go into these two colors. I'll take a very small amount of this and just gently sweep this underneath my eyes. For my blush, I'm gonna be using this new Jouer Rose Cut Gems Blush and Cheek Palette. It's so freaking pretty. My favorite thing to do is mix these two shades together. Absolutely beautiful. This palette's stunning. So I'm gonna take a little bit of both, tap it out because this can be a little pigmented, and I'm just going to pop that onto the cheeks. Such a beautiful color. For highlighter, every day it's different. I literally try to go through all my highlighters and see what I'm in the mood for that day. So doesn't really matter. Today I think the Jouer highlighter in the shade Citrine. It's been a while since I've used these. These are amazing. So I'm taking a small little brush here and I'm going to pop this onto my cheek. Oh my god, these Jouer highlighters are so beautiful. I mean, look at that. Complexion is done. I'm very, very happy with it. Oh my gosh, highlighter is so pretty. I'm gonna be using this for a little bit. Normally at this point, I like to kind of spritz my face with something. If I feel super dry that day, I'll go in with something hydrating. Or if I feel normal, I just like to spritz it with a setting spray, just lock it in place and make it look less powdery. Today, I'm gonna try this. I haven't tried this out before. This is the Fourth Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist, and this is, it says glisten up, so I think it's gonna be more of a glowy, and it is kind of, I don't know if you can see, it does have like some shimmer in there. So it's gonna give us like a probably a more luminous, dewy look. Ooh, smells like orange juice. Oh my god, it smells so good. And then we just fan it dry. Imagine I open my eyes and my makeup is just ruined and just foundation is dripping down my neck. What? Stop. No. Oh wow. Okay, my skin looks like it's made of clay. Oh, I definitely see a difference in my skin. That was lovely. Okay, we are going to be using you again. I feel like brows are not very exciting and I've been pretty much using the same products for a while. This is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP in Dark Ash Blonde. This is my second one. I just bought a new one. And this is the Milk Makeup Haze Brow Gel. I'm going to fill in my brows, apply this. I'll be right back. So we're at the eyes, and when I'm just doing my makeup like off camera and I'm really getting into it, I end up using like sometimes 6 different eyeshadow palettes because I like to take one thing from something and just mix it all up. So you can use pretty much any one neutral eyeshadow palette for this look, but for some odd reason I decided to use like 3 different palettes. So I have the Persona Identity palette, I have the Uoma Black Magic palette, and my Pat McGrath Midnight 6. What is this? Mothership, I don't know, the new one. I'm going to be going in between like all these palettes. It's totally unnecessary. You can stick to one palette, but that's just me. That's what I do on a regular basis. Before I put any eyeshadow on my eyes, I really quickly wanted to explain to you what and why I'm going to be doing what I'm doing. I don't really talk about this very often. If anything, I probably mentioned it not too long ago. I really hate drawing attention to it because it's pretty much one of my bigger insecurities, my eyes. When you look at my eyes, they are two completely different shapes. This one is a hooded lid and I have more of a higher lid, like I don't know what you call that, but this one comes down. So whatever eye look I do ends up being very, very different because my crease, I have a crease here. This one, I don't have a crease. The look I'm gonna be doing today is kind of, if you struggle with hooded eyes or you struggle like me, you have two different eye shapes and you know, one is hooded, this is going to kind of cheat the eyes and make it look less off. I'm going to show you how I kind of make my hooded lid match this lid a little bit more. So that's the point of what I'm going to be teaching you guys today, but obviously this is a really pretty look and you guys can take away whatever you want from this. It's for everybody. Let's get into it. I'm starting off with that Persona palette. I'm going to take this shade right here. It's called Humble. It's just kind of like a matte nude color. And I'm just gonna throw this into my crease quite messily. It's not super, super bright where it's gonna highlight my brow bone, but I still see a little something that I put in my crease. And this is just basically like a template for me. So when I'm gonna be applying things into my crease, this one, obviously I can fit the brush into my crease and you can see where my crease is. When I'm doing this eye, I like to look in the mirror directly and go above where my fold is. So I will take it up here. I'm gonna hop into my Black Magic palette. I'm gonna take this shade right here. I wanna start off with like lighter brown shades and slowly build everything up. So I'm gonna take this shade right into my crease. And when I'm coming to the end, I like to kind of flick it outwards. And then I will pack it right in here and just kind of like connect it. When I get to this eye, I'm gonna go above where my hooded lid is. So I'm just gonna go right up here. I don't really care about my lids. I'm gonna be putting something sparkly there. So I'm just focusing on getting a nice blend on top. We're gonna be layering a lot of shadows very slowly, so don't worry if it's not perfect right now. We will get there. I'm also gonna sweep that same shade below my lash line. I'm gonna take a mixture of these two shades. I'm still using the same little blending brush. We'll go into something like a little bit more precision very soon. I'm gonna take this shadow and start deepening up the crease. Again, on the other side, I'm applying that darker shade right above where my little hooded fold is. Such a weird word to say. You just really want to take your time blending. If you feel like you need to go into lighter shades and add that to the crease to help you blend darker colors, feel free. I always go back and forth between like different shades just to get like a really good blend out. I'm going back to my Persona palette. I'm going to take this shade right here. It's just like a really nice brow bone highlight color. It's incredibly pigmented. It's so beautiful. And I'm going to apply this to my brow bone. And then I'll use my finger to just kind of like buff it out so it looks a little bit more natural. And do the same thing to the other side. I'm also going to pop this on the inner corners of my eyes. Might as well. We were going to get there eventually. Sticking to the Persona palette, I'm taking this shade right here. It's called Maverick. And I'm going to take a very small little brush like this. I'm going to take a very tiny amount of eyeshadow. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to focus on my hooded eye mostly, but I'm going to look straight forward and right above where I created like my faux crease, I'm going to very gently kind of define it a little bit more, very softly. I don't want to go too heavy, but it's almost as if I'm like shading a new crease for myself. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye, just right where my natural crease is. I'm going back to my blending brush and making sure everything is just nicely blended out. I'm taking that Maverick shade and I'm going to apply that to my lower lash line. Once I'm done with like the shadow portion, I'm going to just kind of not do a cut crease, but I'm going to lay down a cream to kind of carve out the crease, if that makes sense. You'll see, it all makes sense. I'm going to be putting glitter on top of my lids, but this is going to kind of help me have something down. I am taking the Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Shadow. I'm taking the shade Double Pump Latte. It's like the more matte, creamy side. There's no sparkle in this whatsoever. I'm going to take this shade, put on the back of my hand. You can use something like a colorful shade. You can do something more dark. You can do something a lot more bright. This one is just this kind of color. It's a very interesting shade. You want to use a brush that has a nice little curve so you can naturally just shape easier. So I am going to start with this eye first because this is the eye that we're basically creating a faux lid. I'm going to go above my fold right there. And I'm going to just carve it out like a cut crease. I like to take my time and go slow with this. Like I said, we're putting glitter on the lid, so it doesn't have to be perfect. When I get to the end of my eye, I just kind of like to buff it out, and then I'll go back to one of the shadows we use in our crease and just kind of blend that in there. There we have our faux lid. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side, but I'm gonna stick with the natural crease I already have. I'm not gonna lie, it's always harder to do that cut crease on like this eye just because it kind of gets messy in the crease. This one's just easy because you don't have any folds to like kind of mess up your lines that you're making. If you wanted to just stop here and stick with a matte look, you totally can, but I feel like what kind of conceals that hooded lid versus no hooded lid situation is the glitter, and you'll see from far away, like after you have the glitter on, it's like you almost can't even tell. Really quickly before I get into the sparkle, like I said, I'm gonna go and just clean up the edges right here with some shadow. I think I'm gonna take this shade right here, very small amount, and I'm just going to gently tap this just so we don't have any harsh edges from that cream that we put down. So this is the part where everybody was like, what is on your lids? What is that sparkle? And honestly, it was my first time using this. I had never tried this before and I was very impressed with it. This is from Milani, and these are their Metallic Lights Pearl Liquid Shadows, and I use a shade of Bronze Metal. It's kind of like those Stila glitter things. So I take some of this on the back of my hand. I'm not gonna apply it directly to my eyes with that applicator. I'm just gonna use that same brush that we used to put the cream down. And I'm just gonna take a very small amount. And again, I'm gonna start with this eye, and basically I'm gonna apply that exactly where we put that cream down. So we already have the guideline. We already know where we're going to put it. And I'm just going to gently tap. This shadow, when applied like this, just gently tapped, kind of activates the sparkles a lot more. You get less of the bronzy pigment and you get more of that sparkle. That's why I like to do it like this. Plus I have a lot more control to build it. I like to go very light first. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye really quickly. As if this is not beautiful enough, I like to just go a little bit more, and I'm gonna take my Mcgrath palette. I'm taking the shade right here, and this is a stunning, oh my god, I can't even explain. It just gives your eye that wet look. And I'm gonna take this with my finger and apply it just right in the center of my eye, and I'm gonna bring it all the way up to where my faux crease is. I'm just basically trying to add as much dimension to my eyes as I possibly can. You can go back to your little pencil brush, and if you kind of went over that little crease, you can just clean it up a little bit or like define it a little more. I think I'm pretty happy with the shadows. I am going to go ahead and create a wing liner. This is also something brand new I tried yesterday and I actually really liked it a lot. It's a Hank & Henry Slick With It eyeliner. It's so super easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and create a little wing, throw my mascara on, and I will be right back. I tried to do my wing on camera as best as I can to show you guys, and before I put my mascara on, I did want to tell you, when you do have two different eyelids or a hooded eye, sometimes doing your wings can be a little bit challenging because then they always come out different. Or when you just have hooded eyes, you need to kind of do your wing in a way where when you open your eyes, your hooded part doesn't kind of cut your wing and then your wing just kind of does like a squiggle. That's happened to me so many times, and because I have two different eye shapes, I have to kind of adjust this wing to look different but not different. So this one sometimes is a little bit thicker, so it gives the illusion of, you know, like I have more space on this eye. So this one I will make a hair thicker. This one will be thinner, but if I go too thick on this side, it kind of touches where my hooded part starts, and I don't want that. But when you look at me, you don't really see, oh, that's way thinner, that's way thicker. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Definitely do try avoid going too thick on this side, because when I open my eyes, I don't want my wing to kind of look squiggly. So also when you are doing your eyeliner on hooded eyes, make sure you are looking straight into your mirror, just like this, and flick out. Don't look down, don't pull your eye, because at the end of the day, when you open your eyes, it's gonna look completely different. You need to see where you are kind of creating your wings, what direction it's going, and when you're looking directly in your mirror, you kind of avoid the surprise in the end. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard explaining things and like finding the right words, so I hope you guys understand that. I hope you guys got the point of it. So let me now put my mascara on real quick. You can totally wear lashes with this look. It'll look really, really pretty, but I just don't feel like wearing lashes today. I'm actually going out and I just want my eyes to feel comfortable. I totally forgot to say, like, another little tip and trick I really like to do is when I have like a little spot that just doesn't get covered, I like to take this Makeup Forever brow liner. I've had this for such a long time and it's the most interesting product. It looks like this. I have the shade 10 and it's just kind of almost like a liquid eyeliner but for your brows. I don't think I've ever used this really for my brows before, but this is what I use to create faux moles, beauty marks. I just do a little boop right there where my blemish was not getting covered, and now I have a nice little beauty mark for the day. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Yesterday in my look, I also lined my waterlines, and I used the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Cocoa. It's just like this chunky pencil, but it's like this really beautiful like chocolatey brown color. So I just kind of like pop this in my waterline. With a look like this, I like it to be a little bit more sultry, so you see like the difference in my eyes. Alright, so this is the finished eye look. I'm really, really happy with the way that it came out. Whether you have symmetrical eyes, asymmetrical eyes, hooded lids, whatever it is, I hope you took something away from this and it was really helpful for you. Let's go ahead and zoom back out and finish off the look with the lips. Gotta get my last sip of coffee before I put my lips on. And yes, my mug is bigger than my head. Because sometimes we need extra coffee, okay? So yesterday I tried out a new little lip combo and I am obsessed with it. I think it's like my new favorite lip ever. So I used the Colourpop BFF lip liner and the new Safiya and Colourpop lipstick in Bikini Bottom. First of all, the packaging on this, it has bats. And then it also has bats on the actual lipstick. These are stunning, and it's the first time I used any of her lipsticks from the collection yesterday. This is the color I gravitated towards because it's a Jesi shade and I'm very, very happy about it. And these go together so perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips and then top it with the lipstick. My lips are so sad and dry though today. Time to remove the clips. And with that, the look is complete. I'm obsessed. Like, I love this look so much. This is probably one of my favorite looks I've done in a while. It's just very me and I feel good about myself. I wanted to do something a little bit different, sit down and kind of be a little bit more thorough and teachy with the techniques that I'm doing, just because when I learn something or something helps me feel a little bit more confident about myself, I want to share it with people who may or may not even struggle with the same thing. Like, maybe you don't have asymmetrical eyes, but you took away a really beautiful glam look that you can wear on a night out or whatever. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys learned something, and thank you guys for joining me. As usual, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, mesijesibeauty, Instagram, MAKEUPBYJESI. Also, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should, because I sometimes do like little mini Instagram videos. I do a lot of celebrity inspo transformation situations and I have a lot of fun on there. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, please go follow me. There's some fun stuff on there sometimes. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it so very much. Hit that little bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, and you guys know that I posted a new video, because sometimes I feel like nobody knows that I posted a new video and it's a little hard. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.